Hi, this upcoming Torah portion of Vayishlach is an interesting one because it portrays our patriarch Jacob and his family returning to Canaan. And in that trip, he encounters his brother Esau. He knows that Esau is coming to meet him with 400 men, and Jacob is afraid. That night, he thinks about it and he encounters, as he crosses the Yavok River, a man, an angelical being, we're not sure what it is, who wrestles with him until the break of day. Whereupon this being injures Jacob in the hollow of his thigh and blesses him and says, your name is not going to be Jacob anymore, it's going to be Israel. Jacob has his showdown with Esau, and they embrace, they kiss, they make up their relationship, and both depart from there peacefully. Jacob will settle in Shechem, and while later his own daughter Dinah will be raped by the Shechem, and his children will avenge her by killing all the men in Shechem. That certainly is one of the saddest episodes in the life of Jacob. Then his son Benjamin, the last one, will be born, and Rachel will die in childbirth. Isaac dies at the age of 180, and Jacob and Esau come together to bury him. And then the Torah will conclude with the generations of Esau, and then the Parsha, a long Parsha, will conclude. But there are 3 points that I would like to make for you to think about during this Torah portion. What does Jacob really fear? Is it Esau himself? Is it the memories? Is it the fact that he realizes that he has not been a good brother, that he did something wrong in the past? So he examines that, and he encounters God along the way. That is a turning point in his life. What happened to us when we encounter a decisive moment in our lives, in a relationship, or in our work, or in our sense of who we are? Moments in which we encounter the divine are pivotal in our lives and can change the way we perceive ourselves, our loved ones, and how the future is going to pan out for us. So that's one important comment. What is he so fearful about Esau? What does Esau represent for him? And when the two brothers finally meet, Jacob offers his brother gifts and animal property, and Esau states that he does not need the gifts, that he has enough. And Jacob responds, but I have everything. What is the difference between someone who says, I have plenty, and someone that says, I have everything? When are we really happy with what we have? The Talmud in Pirkei Avot says, Mi hu ashir, who is really rich? Asameach bechelko, the one is happy with his portion. When enough is enough. It's a very important subject to discuss and to talk about with our families and with our children. A sense of satisfaction gives us the sense that we are rich. And the third subject that I think is of interest to us is when Jacob encounters this horrible situation with Dinah's rape, and the reaction from his children. Where is his punishment for them? Where does Jacob say, you have done wrong and that's unacceptable? how strict are we in the education of our children? Do we justify what they do? Or we say to them, that's unacceptable. That crosses the line. And you should know that deserves some sort of a punishment. Because that way of behavior is not acceptable. That language that is harsh sometimes needs to be told when people take the law in their own hands. A sense of what's right and wrong is, I think, of importance in this parsha, and should be for us as well as we move forward into the next Torah portion, which will bring the life of Joseph, and again, favoritism from Jacob. Well, let me wish you a happy Shabbat, a restful Shabbat. Now that the winter season is here, I think that changes a little bit the way we go around in the city and live our lives. I hope that you will then sense that the Hanukkah season is coming, and next week we'll begin lighting the Chanukiah and bringing some light to these short days that we have. And in Judaism, light means knowledge. Light means the soul, God. It means the positive things in our lives. Next week, we will talk more about Hanukkah. I thought this parasha is crucial and important. I hope you can join us for Shabbat Friday night on Zoom, and Shabbat morning as well on Zoom or in person, up to 10 people. For that, I wish you a good Shabbos, a Shabbos of rest, Shabbos of fulfillment. Shabbat Shalom.